Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott. And boy, it's one of those days. This is that kind of that miserable range where it's 38 degrees and it's wet and rainy. It's not cold enough to snow, but yet it's too cold to really regulate your heat, especially if you're going to work. Typically what happens in this kind of weather is you go out and you start working and then you sweat and then you can't take off layers because it's wet and rainy, and so you get your clothes wet and it's hard to regulate your heat. And so today it would be a day for possible hypothermia. This is the miserable weather that everybody talks about. Those of you that have been in the military and have had to operate under these conditions understand what I'm talking about. When I got out of the Army many years ago, I made myself a promise that I would only be cold and wet when I wanted to be cold and wet. And so far, I really haven't had that desire. So here we are today. It's a short video. I kind of wanted to talk about just a few things. I am mainly inside the house today. We got a fire going in the fireplace, and so I am working on other areas of my preparations. Yesterday and today I have gone through my get home bag and my bug out box, and let me explain that a little bit. My get home bag is actually a part of my bug out plan. It's just that it has less stuff in it, and it's what I carry around with me day to day. And then, as conditions change, and we'll say as the threat posture changes, I either add or take away stuff from that bag, and it can weigh anywhere from about 10 pounds to about 22 pounds, I think. And right now I'm down around 12 pounds, and for the way the world is right now around me, that's okay. It has enough stuff for me to do the things I need to do and to, survive in a way that I can survive. My get home box is an adjunct to my get home bag, or my bug out box is an adjunct to my get home bag. My box has more stuff, it weighs more, but it includes things like an extra change of clothes. It has a little butane stove. I have instant coffee in there. I have cups. I have more ways to purify water. I have more ways to treat myself for first aid, etc., etc. The idea being that if I had to leave this house, more than likely it'll be in my truck. That's, I know we like to fantasize about marching off into the wild, but that's probably not going to happen. So at the minimum, if I had to go right now, I know what I would grab: my get home bag, my bug out box, a few other things, and I can go. If I have more time, I would add more things, but that is a basic kit. And so yesterday and today I've kind of gone all through those and rearranged them, took stuff out, put stuff in. And that got me thinking about what I wanted to talk about today. And that is, one, do you look at your stuff? I'm in mine all the time because I'm in my get home bag all the time because I take it with me whenever I leave. I won't say leave the property, but when I leave my community, when I go more than a few miles away, I typically bring my get home bag with me. If I am leaving the general area, we'll say more than an hour in any direction, I tend to also bring my get home box. You see where I'm going with that? And then everything else that I would bring or not bring would be a mission requirement, or if I was actually, really under a I gotta go now thing, that I would bring more stuff. And a lot of my stuff is already containerized. I know what I'm going to bring with me when those situations come up. So really what I wanted to talk about is, A, do you go through your stuff? And I'm going to give you an example here. I was going through my Get Home bag, and I have, let me see what pocket it's in. I had a little Suunto compass. Now, I like these compasses. They're small and they're typically accurate. But this one, I don't know if you can see it or not, has developed a bubble, and it's a pretty good sized bubble to the point where it's affecting the accuracy of the compass. So I pulled it out of my kit, and I'm probably going to toss it because that compass, that bubble in that compass can make the needle move 10, 15, 20 degrees depending on how you jiggle it. So I pulled this out, and I immediately thought, well, let me go to Amazon and let me see what I want to get and get another one. Well, that's my other point, and that is, we as a country, we as a nation, and probably we as a world, we consume things. And we have lots and lots of stuff. I know I do, and I don't think I have as much as some people, but I have stuff. And so I got to thinking, before I click that Buy It Now button, to go back through my stuff and see if I have something that, may not be an exact replacement, will do. And the answer was I did. And so what I have is another Suunto compass, and I had one of these many years ago, and then I recently, about last year or two, bought this because it's kind of like living an old memory. But what's nice about this compass is it is a sighting compass. It has a little mirror in the back, but it works just fine. It weighs a little more than that little button compass, but it's a lot more accurate. And so rather than going and buying another compass, I just pull this out, and this is what I'm going to put in my kit. It does take up more space, but it doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and it'll fit in the little bag that I have all that stuff in. So we have a lot of stuff, and we all have our pet things. For me, it's pocket knives. I have lots and lots of pocket knives, and you can only use one, maybe two at a time. But I just kind of collect them, and I have some really nice ones. I have a lot of them are for everyday stuff, but I only carry one at a time. And it's the same thing with a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying don't buy things, if you get pleasure out of it. Like I said, I have, when I go to church on Sundays, I may bring a fancier pocket knife, or sometimes I swap them out, but typically I only carry one, and here lately I've only been carrying one of those. So my point becomes, when it's time to go, when you have to go now, do you know what you're going to grab? If you have 15 pocket knives, and I probably have at least that many, do you know which one you're going to grab? Or are you going to sit there and look at your collection and try to make a decision on the spot? And because you like them all, and you bought each one because of a particular thing you liked about it, are you going to have trouble picking the one that you need to go, and you got to go now? Or are you going to try to bring them all, and because you've done that, are you going to leave something else that may be more important behind, but you couldn't let all your favorite pocket knives go because they're all your favorite? You see where I'm going with this? It's the same thing with firearms. Nothing wrong with having more than one firearm. However, when it comes time to go now, can you reach into your closet, vault, gun rack, whatever, and can you reach in there and grab the one rifle that you're going to take and go? Or are you going to sit there and say, well, maybe I should take this one because it does this, or I'll take this one because it has this accessories on it, or, you know, and then you end up trying to take all of those. And again, you know, if you're bugging out in a vehicle or even on a backpack, you have X amount of space, and are you packing your favorites and leaving some other more important things behind, like food? And so my point is today is really a couple, but one is go through your stuff, make sure it's up to date, make sure everything's working. Like I said, that little compass, the little Suunto compass I probably had that for years, and only recently it just got that bubble, and it got to the point where that compass is no longer really usable in a field situation. And so I, you know, went ahead and swapped it out. And except this time I made the decision to go looking through all my stuff first to see if I had something that will make do, even though that the compass I'm replacing it with is a very nice compass and is more accurate than the one I had in there. I like that little one because it took up a little space, it was lightweight, and typically I could use that compass when it didn't have that bubble in it. So check your stuff, you know, make sure that your stuff works, inspect it. Same thing with your firearms, your knives. Are your knives sharp? Are your guns clean? You know, do they function? Have you taken them out and shot your guns? Have you zeroed in your guns? That's very important. Make sure all your stuff works. The other thing is, you know, in today's world, especially, I see it in the prepper communities, we have the get this now or you will die. And do you really need it, or are you buying it because somebody told you? And don't get me wrong, I have gone through this too. You know, where I have been induced to buy something because somebody else told me I needed to have it. But in reality, with all the training I've had, I don't need a whole lot of stuff. And it's taken me a while to figure that out. I don't have to have a bag full of pocket knives. Like I said, it's okay to have things because you like them. And I like pocket knives. But don't be buying things because somebody else has told you, or it's neat, or it's cool, it's a gee whiz thing. Take a look at it and see if you need it. See if you have something that'll work just as well, or maybe not just as well, but good enough. Save your money for important things like buying food, you know, buying bullets, buying Band-Aids, you know, beans, what is it, beans, bullets, and Band-Aids, right? So, you know, take the opportunity and reflect. You know, if you're going to buy something, do I really need it? You know, that's what I go through now. When I look at, oh, that's a really cool pocket knife, and then I have to start, then I really take the time and think about, okay, if I buy this pocket knife, number one, will I carry it? And number two, you know, do I really need it, or do I have other things that'll work just as well? And typically now at my stage of life, I have pretty much all I need. Now when I buy things, sometimes it's for fun, you know. Do I really need it? No, but do I want to do it for fun? But I always make sure that my other areas are taken care of first. Do I have enough food? Do I have enough water? Can I maintain sanitary conditions? And can I defend my family? I say this over and over and over again. That's what you need to concentrate on. One last pet peeve, and I'll let you guys go. You know, I go on a lot of these boards and forums and stuff, and people say, oh, when the EMP strikes, you know, that's just a way to get you to buy things. Okay, it doesn't matter what triggers the event, that if you are prepared, if you have food, water, can maintain sanitary conditions and can defend your family. It doesn't matter what triggers the event. So don't worry about EMP or the Chinese horde or the golden horde or earthquakes and volcanoes and whatever, tsunamis. Just get your preps ready. Okay? And that's really it. Get your preps ready and don't worry about what's going to cause a trigger, because probably if you prep in general, you will probably cover 99% of anything you're going to face. And I'll tell you for a fact, I've been prepping probably for getting close to 60 years, and I'm prepped for 100% of the things I've seen in my lifetime. I leave that 1% for that oddball thing, but more than likely, I have enough to take care of that oddball stuff. So, stay safe, stay secure, check your preps, and we'll see you out there.